Good morning, Cobbers. How
G'day.
are you today? G'day.
G'day, mate.
Was it Bob used to do? Hello.
Hesitated reference right there, man.
Yeah. We've just lost all the youth.
It's one for the kids.
Yeah, one for the kids.
Right, so welcome to RVTV on a very sunny afternoon in the Netherlands, and it looks quite sunny over there in the United Kingdom.
It is. Yeah.
Apparently, we're the warmest place in Europe today. We've got 31 degrees.
What, Netherlands or England?
Yeah, the Netherlands.
Nice.
Yeah, so I thought I'd put my basketball gear on. I'm not going to be playing, don't worry. I don't want to do my backing. But yeah. New
York Knicks, is that?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
We actually reached the playoffs this year. Unbelievable.
My boys are back. Apparently, Seattle Supersonics are being reformed, aren't they?
Oh, are they?
They're bringing them back. Yeah, I saw on Twitter the other day that they're bringing the Supersonics back to Seattle. So
nice.
The Seattle Supersonics are back.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think it's. I haven't watched much of the finals, but looks like the Denver Nuggets may very well cause a surprise. Good team, but anyway, we're not here to talk about basketball, darlings.
Speaking of good teams, seamless link.
So, Big Ange. We finally have a new manager. And he's a good-looking bar steward. So, first thoughts on... What were your first thoughts when we were linked with him? Because we've been linked for a few months. And I know there was an awful lot of people who really didn't think he was a big enough name for us. So what were your first thoughts, Simon?
Yeah, well, I'm optimistic. I'm in a really good mood about it. It might be just because it was my birthday yesterday. I got some nice new Spurs clobber at the '81 FA Cup final jacket, which we obviously won with a famous Ricky Villa goal of the century, as it was officially titled. And this is his actual. No, it's not his actual jacket. Well, I'm sorry. And yeah, I got my nice little Spurs top as well underneath. You know, nice little t-shirt,
nice
polo shirt. And I've got me Spurs lunchbox ready for school.
As long as it's not infant.
So I'm only 18 now. It's my 18th yesterday. So wait, we laughing at? Hey, I've got a badge. Look, it's official. You can't.
What more proof do you need?
Yeah,
can't argue with that.
So I'm in a good mood because of that, and I'm like, yeah, like the more I read up about him, I think I've said it on here before. You know, my first choice would have been Thomas Frank, but he was somebody I'd spoken about before I decided on Thomas Frank. But yeah, the more I read up about him, the more I like it. It's almost set up, isn't it, for someone from Netflix or a documentary maker, considering his backstory, you know, the whole immigrant story and having it really tough as a kid and growing up, and you know, becoming a manager in his 30s and stuff like that due to injury and taking all these underdog teams to glory. And the thing I like about it is his effect that he has on the teams. You know, obviously he wasn't there in Australia or Japan when he was winning, but he has such an effect that actually after he left those teams, they won again the league title the following year, both in Australia and Japan with the same squad. So he has a lasting effect as well as an immediate effect. I think it's good all round. I think I like his style of play, of course, but I'm more excited in the short term about his reputation for clearing out dead wood as soon as he comes to a club. So I'm hoping Dyer is gone. I mean, this all depends obviously on the pre-season and the training and stuff, what he sees.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to take a while. I think that's the key thing. We have to be patient, don't we? No matter who it is. The only thing I don't like, I've heard talk of players that would suit his style, and there's people like Harry Winks have been talked about coming back.
Yeah.
In terms of suiting his style, and Ndombele would suit his style and stuff like that. And do you know what? I'm prepared to forgive on Ndombele as long as he doesn't have the same kind of attitude, because it's a bit like the Zuma, isn't it? We've seen the flashes of what he can do. But the difference with Ndombele is he was a twat, wasn't it? So
one of his team mantras, Simon, is "We don't stop running. We don't stop running." So I don't see how any part that Ndombele fits into his ethos at all. There.
Did you see Napoli's celebrations of the title? He hadn't even played, and when he collected his winner's medal, he walked off like he'd been running for like 35 hours. Yeah, he just looked naked.
Dripping bullets. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, the guy is I think
he played like 80 minutes like all season or something like that. Some stupid stat like that I saw, and I'm like, oh come on, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't want him back, but that's what I've heard talk of. He suits that kind of style, apparently.
Okay. Morning, Swifty. Nice to see you. I don't want him, but I wish him well. Yeah, that seems to be quite a consensus among many fans. Johnny, what do you reckon? What were your first thoughts?
Maybe that should be I didn't want him, but I wish him well, because he's in with us now, Swifty, isn't he? So we got to back him. Good luck to him. I said he's on a hiding to nothing, isn't he? Really. Yeah. He said he's got that track record for clearing out Deadwood and rebuilding squads from scratch. But as we know, the bold twonk at the top doesn't let you release players if the other teams aren't bidding the money. Well, traditionally he hasn't until maybe at the end of the season with who did he let go? The right back that went to France. Brain's not working this morning. Matt Doherty.
Oh yeah.
Until recent, and obviously the deal last year when he let Dele Alli go as well. So maybe he's starting to come around to the fact that it's more harm than good keeping the Deadwood around. Let's hope if Ange goes in and says, I want him gone, and Levy's not, bartering over a couple of million, and then he ends up with him stuck around, in the dressing room after he's told him he's not wanted and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the impressive thing is that all the old clubs that he's been at, they're all sad to see him leave, weren't they? And you haven't really heard anyone come out and say a bad word about him so far. They said he's very straight and direct, and he tells you what he wants. And he's good at getting his messages across, and he's very consistent with his messages, so you know where you stand with him. I saw a thing with Harry Kewell yesterday, actually. He got him up there to be a coach, obviously the Australian link. Okay. And he said he'd never met Postecoglou before, and he was the one that actually dropped him from the Australian squad. But he said he was although he was disappointed, when he told him he wasn't going to be picking him anymore, he kind of knew where he stood. He was in no doubt, and the messaging was very clear. So he had no hesitation going into Celtic when he asked him to go and be a coach there. And he said he expected him to take him a couple of months, to get Postecoglou's, philosophy and points across and trying to work as a coach. And so it took him 2 days. He said he's that direct with his messaging and his communicating. He said he understood what he wanted after 2 days, and he didn't vary from that. He just very stuck to his guns about how he wants the game played and what he expects his players to do in and out of possession. And if you don't stick to that, you're out. You're out on your ear. Yeah, so that was a good sign as well. Everyone said he's a good communicator, very straight and direct, which Australians are, aren't they? They don't sugarcoat stuff, do they?
No, they're a lot like the Dutch.
Yeah.
Very direct.
Why beat around?
Nice to see you, Brian. Good morning, sir. Daniel Levy, get out of our club.
Amen.
Brian Daigle, big up all. I watched a video of his yesterday, Big Angie's. And it was before an Australia match, I think it was. And he was talking, it was extremely motivational. In fact, I almost had a tear coming out of my eye because he was talking about his dad, how he worked he got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and got back at 7 o'clock in the evening. But when they went to the football club on Saturday, he saw his eyes lit up. He could talk to people in Greek. Because it was a Greek club, a Greek expat club, and he was saying, this game, there's someone out there who's been rooting for you, who you're trying to make proud. So go out there tomorrow and make them proud. And I can't really imagine someone like Mourinho or Conte saying stuff like that. It's more like you need to go out and win so I can get my ego more self-inflated.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk a little bit about his tactics. Now, I saw quite an interesting article. He seems to have, when he first started out with Melbourne, he was playing an attacking 4-2-3-1 formation. But he's shifted it to, when he was at Celtic, it was 4-3-3. Now, what I think is quite interesting, and which is something I'd like to talk about, is versatile fullbacks. When it says versatile fullbacks, I assume it means that they need to be able to defend as well as attack. So we have Porro, or we have Emerson Royal on the right. Who do you think will be the one that he uses? Because one's great at attacking, the other one's pretty good at defending.
Jed Spence. Yeah. Throw him in there.
You might be right there, John. You might be right.
That's a pretty good.
I mean, immediately probably not, because obviously he's got almost zero playing time. But I think Royale. I think it's easy. We all know where Royale falls down, and it's any time he kind of like gets within, sight of the penalty area, the opposition penalty area. That's where he falls down, and I think that's easy to work on, to be honest. I think
I'm not so sure. Well, one of those other things.
It's more versatile that come out than Porro, I think. Porro just seems
that training session where he's mic'd up, Simon. He doesn't like people passing backwards, and he doesn't like people dilly-dallying on the ball. He likes them to play early and to play forward, neither of which Emerson Royale's good at. So I can't see it.
I think he's I think what I've seen of Royale, well, admittedly little this season, just gone. He seems to be, more often than not, he seems to be the one where if it needs hoofing out, he hoofs it out. If it needs, he's always the one to run straight in and risk, obviously, a free kick, but more importantly, just like come and stop pissing about and get this, make the tackle in. A bit like skipping midfield, like he's done that quite a few times. I think he's got more potential than Porro. Porro seems to be just like kind of like quicker, obviously, but more kind of like straight line. Doesn't seem that versatile in terms of, adaptability. But we shall see. I mean, I'm actually your first answer there, John. I think I'm more hopeful for Jed Spence, really.
Yeah,
always been a big fan of him since he's been up here at Middlesbrough, I really hope he gets his chance. I hope he does. Maybe we'll do a rotation thing, to see who's doing.
I think that Spence and Porro, as Brian has said here, Porro, Kulusevski right attackers, Royal, Spence right backs, with Porro going back if needed, is what I want to see. I think that Jed Spence and Porro could challenge Kulusevski for that right winger position, because I'm sorry, Kulu has not had a great season, has he?
No.
I'd like to see someone who is there and actually challenging him for his position, because I don't know if that's the case or if it's just because the football we were playing was, but that's not an excuse, because he was playing great under Conte when the football wasn't that exciting. Maybe when Conte left, that might have been one of the reasons. Obviously, the whole Juve Italian connection. He probably moved to Spurs because he wanted to play under Conte. But it's definitely healthy to have that much competition with players who can play as right wing back or right back, but also as a right winger.
Do you think he'll be? Do you think he'll have like? Do you think we'll come in and have the attitude of like, right, literally everybody's on a clean slate, no matter what position?
Very possibly, yeah. You'd hope so, wouldn't you? Because that's what new managers should do.
No,
they come in.
No, I don't hope so. I want Dyer gone. That's what I want.
Okay, yeah, but I'm pretty sure that if he's clever enough, he'll see. Just because Dyer is a favourite, I believe, of Mr. Levy, because he doesn't make any trouble and he was cheap. And, I think that if you see him in training, then it's probably going to be a case of, well, yeah, I'm not really sure about this guy. And okay, maybe he'll give him a chance in the first few weeks.
Prevention's better than cure, though, isn't it? Like, prevention's better than cure, isn't it? I don't want Dyer to be, given a chance for half a dozen games and then make those stupid mistakes.
Yeah, okay.
And us to lose like 3 or 4 games, and then like, oh right, Dyer, you're out. I want him to just watch VT of this season and just think like, why the fuck is he even here in the first place, kind of thing. Why the hell is he here in the first place, mate? Get him out.
Bloody hell, Cobber.
Growth.
Depends on whose opinion he respects in the club as well. If you're coming in and you don't know anyone, you're not going to respect their opinion on players, are you? Because you want to have a look. You might want to have a look yourself and decide yourself. But if he doesn't know anyone at the club and they're saying Dyer shit, Winks is shit, he's thinking, maybe do I trust their judgment or do I go with my own judgment?
You would think he'd go up to Ryan Mason and say, look, talk to me, mate, about why you dropped Dyer for those last few games. What was the reason?
Yeah.
And Ryan Mason go, well, he's just shit. And, it's just, he's just shit. Right, mate, gotcha. Yep. Cheers, mate.
One of the things that I read as well is that his backline would convert into a 3, one fullback push forward with the other maintaining the depth. This proved particularly useful when playing against a team that's set up with a top 2, as the widest of the newly formed back 3 could step into midfield. So that kind of, I think, with our options at left back, I don't know about this Udogie yet. I've heard that he's attacking, but with Davis and Sessegnon, that would kind of help because we've got the attacking guys on the right, and then Davis can step back into a back 3. That's if we still want to keep Davis. As Mark said, not with this team, mate. Yeah, I completely understand that.
I repeat, comfortable in possession and people that don't pass backwards and sideways. That doesn't bode well for Ben Davis. As much as he won me over last year, he plays a safe option backwards or inside all the time, doesn't he? So, and he's not comfortable in possession, which is why I don't think Emerson will play, because he's not comfortable in possession either. If you want to play a possession-based game, you need people that are comfortable receiving the ball under pressure and can play quickly. Emerson needs 2 or 3 touches to get the ball under control. So does Ben Davis. So I can't see a good outcome for those 2.
What about Reggie? He's quite comfortable.
He's not. Sometimes it's like his second touch is chasing the ball a lot of the time, isn't it? Because he miscontrols his first touch. But like Kyle Walker, he's quick enough to get away with some of his mistakes, isn't he? So Reggie's a bit like that. If he makes a mistake, he's quick enough to get back and recover. And if he has a bad touch, he's quick enough to get to the second touch, isn't he? Well, I wouldn't be against Reggie coming back as the second one. Maybe a Doggy and Reggie. Do you have to say it in an Italian accent? Is it Udogie or is it your doggy? Or
you do.
No clue.
I have Udogie.
Where's
Iggy when you need him?
You notice the difference already.
Iggy.
You notice the difference already, though. Like, what has Ange already got? He's proven, as you were saying, Jens, that he's already got the previous 2 managers can't do, which is change the formation, change the setup. If it's wrong, he changes it. That's already a 100% improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Is he going to have Daniel Levy on his back though, going, I've spent £40 million on Porro and you're not playing him? And he's like, well, he can't play right back because he's defensively not good enough, and I've got a better right attacker in Kulusevski or whoever comes in or whatnot. I'm not going to be. He's not going to be playing Porro, is he? And is he going to be under pressure to play Porro because he spent £40 million on him? It's a silly buy, wasn't it? Really, if we knew a manager was coming in that doesn't play wing backs, why are we spending £40 million on a wing back? And Andy Doggie's a wing back as well, isn't he? So,
yes. Yeah. They are. I have heard whispers that they think that he can be trained into a left back.
That was a good thing that Poch did, didn't he? With Rose and Walker, he made them defensively more solid, didn't he? So maybe Big Ange can coach them defensively, and you don't want to smack that attacking ability out of them. You want them to keep that, but just switch on a bit more mentally when they've lost the ball, kind of thing, which is easily taught. Yeah.
I don't think it bodes very well for Ryan Sessegnon. He's another one who's been a massive disappointment after being bigged up so much. What was it? they're not twins, are they, Ryan and Stephen? Are they?
No,
No.
the brother plays against Wickham. The brother plays against Wickham occasionally.
Yeah, he plays for Charlton, doesn't he? And they were both massively bigged up. And yeah, I don't know. I know that Ryan has come out and said he's had problems with mental health and stuff like that, confidence.
Not surprised.
Yeah, which is not.
We should have.
Which is not really conducive for a Premiership footballer. If you can't switch on,
no, it isn't.
For 90 minutes.
It's sink or swim at the top level, and that's what they say. They normally say that's what makes professional footballers. It's not their ability; it's their mentality to get to the top. They need to roll with the punches and ignore the bad karma and like bad words. Kind of way they're the ones that can focus on moving forward and don't take it to heart. So it's not a good sign. Yeah. I think there was talk of us ripping up his contract, wasn't there? But who would take him if he was available on a free? Maybe Fulham again, or lower.
I reckon he could go back down to the Championship. Yeah,
he might get lower end Prem, so Luton or someone would take him, I'm sure. Which sums up his current level, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah, he'll have a decent career. Not at the highest level, but he'll still have a decent career, make enough money, and he'll be happy as Larry in the end. But one of the things which I'm really looking forward to, which, they talk about the Tottenham way, and we haven't had that for a few seasons, have we? But he plays attacking football. He has...
Praise the Lord!
Yeah, exactly. He's... hang on a minute. He loves the high press.
Interesting Big Ange, by the way, just while you look for that.
Sorry?
He doesn't like the name Ange, not at all. He prefers Angelos.
That's his full name, is it? Okay.
Yeah, Angelos.
Right.
Angelos. He hates Ange. He hates it. So, which is
all them Tottenham people that write the songs are probably ripping up all their stuff.
I know, right?
Ruined it for them.
The songs, the banners.
Got to start again. Yeah.
Oh. Poor bugger.
Oh, okay. Well, if I ever do meet him, which I doubt it, then I won't call him Ange because he is kind of big, isn't he? So, not quite as big Al, but what can you say?
Have you got your shin pads on today, Jens?
Oh dear. So this is one of the most important questions I've got. Thank you, everybody who's watching. There's no people watching at the moment, so like and subscribe. But this is one of the biggest questions I had in regards to Ange coming. Does this mean I have to support the Aussies in the Ashes?
Hell no. Absolutely not.
No.
Good stuff. When is it? It's starting soon, isn't it?
Yeah. They're just doing it
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. Is it Friday? Okay.
I've got the day off for the first day.
They're beating the Indians at the moment, aren't they? At Lords.
Yeah. India, I've been set at like 333 to win or something, or might have been 444.
Okay.
But it's a 6-day test, so they've got plenty of time. And the weather's nice today, so they've got enough time to run it down. India are good at batting, so who knows?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So, anything else you want to mention about Big Ange before we move on to transfer talk?
No, I think we just feel just to say to all the
Angelos,
Angelos, just to say to all the naysayers out there. I mean, these are the same people that will be jumping on his back after 2 games if they're not, 3-0 wins. I think we just ignore all these Twitter twats, and we've got to be patient. He's I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's one of the few remaining old school managers. Yeah. Where he'll give you a kick up the arse if needed, but also put an arm around his shoulder if needed. And that's exactly what we need at this club. I can't. What's a different way of saying it? But I suppose thumbs up, to Daniel Levy for getting him in. Maybe he's recognised that that's what this club needs, or maybe it was just a bloody accident that somebody's told Daniel to get him in. But it's a good appointment. and I'm really optimistic. You know, that's why I'm wearing this. I'm not just because it's my birthday yesterday, but like I hope Angelos prioritizes things like the FA Cup and doesn't like an old school manager, and recognizes it for what it is, which is the best country, best competition in this country, and has kind of brings that kind of traditional way of playing and traditional attacking football and traditional way of dealing with the players and no bullshit. And I think it's probably, I can't remember, best, what should we say, the best manager appointment since Redknapp, shall we say?
Pochettino.
Yeah,
I'm sure the same people that are moaning about Ange, the ones that were moaning about Pochettino being appointed as well, though.
Yeah.
But that,
they hadn't heard of him,
It's Southampton, it wasn't proven, wasn't trophy winner or anything like that. It was at Southampton, wasn't he? So stuff I don't know what they're talking about.
Wasn't a trophy winner with us either.
Mm. That was the players. That wasn't him.
But I think I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I have a feeling that he's one of the only ones who wanted to come, and that's why Daniel Levy got him.
Well, we don't know, do we?
No, we don't.
Like,
as I said, that's why I'm playing devil's advocate. So
yeah, it's like did we even interview Thomas Frank? I don't know. Like,
no, I wouldn't have thought so.
Well,
it's not.
Alan Brazil said on Talk Sport the other day, he's got links to Celtic, he obviously from Celtic, and he's quite a big media personality up there. He said he's heard from reliable sources that we've been talking to Big Ange for many months. So it wasn't just like everyone else has turned us down, we're going to get him kind of thing. So maybe that's why Levy had such a needle with the Nagelsmann rumours and stuff like that. He might have already appointed like Big Ange at that point, and they were just waiting for Celtic to play out their season and get it done with. The other interesting thing is as well that the club that he was with before Celtic, the owner of that was part of the Manchester City group, so they played Man City, I think, in some friendlies and stuff like that. And Pep Guardiola apparently was raving about him, and he is best mates with the guy that owns Celtic, Pep, apparently, and he recommended Big Ange to Celtic basically. So Pep Guardiola seems to know a bit more about football than some of these people on Twitter, doesn't he? So. If he is impressed with Pep Guardiola, then that bodes well for us, doesn't it, as well?
Well, I always thought that, or I think that it's something similar to what Alex Ferguson used to do. He used to blow smoke up our asses all the time, say what a great team Tottenham are, but that's because we weren't a threat. So I don't know if that's the case with Pep as well, or if he's actually being genuine. I try not to watch his press conference.
No, he's not very interesting. He's a strange man. I said to my brother last night, Jens, he's the manager equivalent of when Christian Eriksen used to do his interviews. Very odd man, isn't he? Some of those weird things Christian Eriksen used to come out with. You're like, what the fuck? What planet is this man on? He used to come out with some really weird facial expressions and like comments, didn't he? He's like, I should clarify as well, this isn't a Manchester City talk. This is an LSA talk. I'll probably get
that's nice. Where'd you get that from?
YouTube or whatever now.
Very nice.
I found it in the football team I ran. Someone left it in the changing room, so I pick up clothing most weeks, hoodies, tops, and stuff like that. They never claim. I always put them on our WhatsApp group. Whose is this? And then no one ever claims them back, so I just keep them.
Bonus, yeah. Why not?
Yeah, bonus. Yeah.
Okay then, moving swiftly on. Transfer news. There was a little bit of in the know on Spurs community over the last week. So it wasn't so much about players. It was more the type of players that he wants. So Dragon One, who, I don't know these in the knows. I don't know if they're full of crap.
Dragon One.
I don't know if I don't check their record. If someone signs, I don't go back and say, "Oh yeah, he recommended that." But he said he wants fast.
Are we allowed to call him Big Drag? Are we allowed to call him Big Drag, or does he insist on Big Dragon? Big Dragon, he's Big Dragon, is it?
So he
must be Welsh.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I don't think he posts that much actually on Spurs community. I think he just talks to the moderators, and then they post up what he said. But apparently he wants
Maybe
fast,
it's Don
high-energy, mobile players, but they need to be emerging and not established. So, in other words, that's coming straight out of the Daniel Levy book of transfers. I don't want to spend 50 million. Okay, yeah, he did a couple of times, but once bitten, twice shy. So I think that's interesting. But he did say that he thinks that David Raya from Brentford is very possible. Which
I've heard that,
which I think would be nice. He seems like a good guy. And
I mean,
then there's another bloke called Trix who's on there, who's very open. He's always interacting with everyone. He has a friend at the club. He doesn't. Yeah, obviously he has to time what he's posting because he doesn't want to get his mate into trouble, or maybe it's being leaked on purpose. But there's a guy called Arthur Feet. I bet you never heard of him before. He plays for Rennes in France. He's Belgian international, 6 caps, 23 years old, central defender, left-footed. What I thought was quite interesting is he played for Ostend, Bologna and Rennes, 38 games for Ostend, 5 goals, 31 for Bologna, 2 goals, and 35 for Rennes, 4 goals. It's not bad for a centre-back, is it?
What's his stats on clean sheets, though?
Big.
That's a good question. I don't really know.
But
he's
clean sheets are a thing. Clean sheets are a thing of the past, Simon. We're not interested.
We want Aussie football.
Attacking coach now. 6-5 or 4-3 every week. Fuck the clean sheets. Well, funnily enough, though, we'll need a strong character and go. We're going to concede quite a lot of goals. Someone is going to be able to forget about it and go again. You know, rather than one that's obsessed with clean sheets, because it sounds like we're going to concede a lot, but we've got to score more than we concede. That's the new remit.
Going back to Mr. Ardiles' reign.
Yes. So he took 3 Japanese. He took 3 Japanese players with him to Celtic, didn't he? And apparently they're high energy players that they didn't stop running. So he does like those kind of Duracell bunnies in a team. You need them, don't you? If you're playing a high press, they got to get up there and then get back, and you need lots of high energy players.
Well, that was another one who's been linked. Fugarashi, I think his name is, their centre forward from Celtic.
Yeah,
I haven't really seen him play.
He's all right. I don't think he would get in the team with Son there. I think he plays on the same side of Son at the moment, and it's very similar style. But I think Son's better. He kind of drifts out to the left. I mean, Son is actually better when he comes central, isn't he? So,
yes.
I don't think you get in with Son there, to be honest.
So, okay, well, that was the incoming transfer news. What about outgoing? You think
there's one more?
What do we think about Kane? Sorry,
there's one we didn't discuss. Maddison, that he seems to be linked again this week, doesn't he? Would you take Maddison?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd be happy with Maddison.
I hope he's grown up a little bit since the tweets and the interviews and stuff like that. Do you remember those? He was derogatory towards Tottenham at some point, but also the whole thing. Or maybe it wasn't a tweet. He was in a nightclub and he was going around saying to everyone, "My shoes cost more than you earn in a month," or something like that. And he seemed like a real. Obviously, this is all hearsay.
Yeah.
I don't really like the guy's attitude. I think he's a good player, and it would be nice if we get someone like him, because we've really missed out on a player like that since Eriksen left.
Well, that's one thing that all the people I've said about Ange Postecoglou's style, that he has a Pirlo playmaker at the base of his 3. So hopefully we'll get a Benton Coor can do it, but I think he'll get another creative, a couple of creative players in. Obviously, Winks, Højbjerg, and Skip aren't really that kind of player, are they? So we need some creativity in our midfield, don't we, as well?
Yeah. At the least, Maddison
Hallelujah.
Create competition with Benton Coor, and therefore theoretically improve each other. Just because of competition.
I think they'd be good in it. in a 3-man midfield, I think it'd be really good. So if you had like Benson, Kerr, Maddison, and like a hard-working player in there, that'd be a good blend of the three, wouldn't it? Really?
Yeah. Well, I think both of our first choice central midfielders have not had good seasons. Well, sorry, not first choice. After Bentancur was injured, but Skippy and Højbjerg.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, gents, how's Højbjerg going to fit in? Your favourite player from last season?
Yeah, well,
because he hates, and Angelos hates players passing it back. He's well known for screaming at players for passing it back. So, is there even a place for him?
Oh, that's understandable. But I think the Højbjerg that plays for Tottenham is very different to the Højbjerg that plays for Denmark. So he does have different tools in his box. You could say that I'm making excuses for him, but I think the bloke's knackered. He's played every single game for his country and his club over the last season or so. No, he was injured, wasn't he, the last couple of games, or maybe he was just dropped. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Goes away, has a couple of weeks in the sun, has a bit of a rest. We might find a new player on our hands.
I hope so.
You're preaching to the converted here, Jens. I think you're being a bit harsh on him because of his Danish. I don't think he's had a bad season at all. Look at the goals he scored and some of his assists and some of the way he's played. Obviously, there's noise on Twitter that a certain element don't like him because he's not flashy. But I think he hasn't had a bad season.
Don't understand the hatred.
You think people that worked hard for the badge and gave their all the time would be applauded, not condemned, wouldn't you? Like Skip gets it as well, and he works his ass off every week, and he gets condemned because he's not Pirlo or who they expect him to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think he's being a bit harsh because he's Danish.
Yeah, well, I was exactly the same with Eriksen, wasn't I? So I can't be showing. I can't be seen to show favouritism, mate.
You're like Glenn Hoddle, like when he commentates on us, to prove that he's not biased, he goes too far the other way, aren't he? And you're the Danish players, you go too far the other way to prove that you're not biased towards the Danes.
It seems to be like every single Tottenham commentator, they do exactly the same, whereas the Arsenal go the other way. It's oh my God, did you see that pass when he knocked it out for a throw into the other team? That was amazing. That's Mike Keogh. So rumours are that Real Madrid have made an extremely pathetic bid of 69 million for Harry Kane. I don't know what's going to happen with him. He seems like someone who wants to stay, at least in England, that he's settled, that he's relatively happy. But, when Real Madrid come calling, how many people say no?
Do you remember, though, when Modric and Bale were linked away and stuff, they were sullen and walking around stroppy and they wouldn't do any interviews and they were so, you could tell from their body language. Harry doesn't seem like that at all. Like there was no waving goodbye at the end there. He's talking about we need to get better next season. We need to build next season. His whole body language and the way he's talking is not about leaving. So I don't think he's worth too much to us commercially as well to accept a bid of like 60 million. Because if he leaves, that goes. He's the face of the club. He's got to be the new captain, isn't he? When Hugo leaves. So I think he's worth more commercially more to Levy than that. And that Matt Law said on Chris Carron's show the other day, he said there's no way Levy will let him leave. He said categorically said there's no way he's going to let him leave this year. So whether he runs it down and leaves next year on a free, it doesn't smack of Levy, does it? So they'll probably offer him the earth to sign a contract extension. And you'd be silly not to take it from Harry. I mean, you'd ask for assurances after the gentleman's agreement was let down last time, wouldn't you? But who knows what will happen? It's in our hands this year as well. And if we sell him to Real Madrid, we can decide where he goes. If he runs his contract down next year, then it's up to Harry, isn't it? Where he goes, really. Yeah. And it'll be killing to see him in the Premier League, won't it? Playing for another club. The ideal scenario that we said the other day was if we sell him to Madrid, but with a guaranteed buyback after 2 years. So the deal was already done that he comes back after 2 years. He goes to Madrid, wins everything, and then because we won't be able to afford his wages or his transfer fee in a couple of years, will we? So if you do the deal now, I don't know if you're allowed to in contract law or not, But it might even be a 2-year loan to Real Madrid, and then he comes back and he's still our player, and he can come back and beat Shearer's record. That's one possible way around it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
It's
that's.
Look at Bale. We couldn't afford Bale's wages, could we? When we got rid of him, that was it. We knew he was never going to play for us again, in theory, because the wages that he'd be on at Real Madrid, and when we couldn't match him, only Man City's and your Man United's can match the wages, can't they? So you'd have to do some kind of a deal to say that it's guaranteed that he comes back after 2 years, and do the deal now, because there's no way we'll be able to afford him in a couple of years.
Yeah, that's very true.
Thing is, it's hard to tell, isn't it, what's going on inside the club. I love how they keep putting all these little things to try and placate us. You know, obviously it's in order to try and sell season tickets, like the whole thing with the mural and stuff, Harry's mural, and you know, with the kit launch, you know, having him front and center there at the kit launch. You know, it's like, these all show, they're not coming out and saying it, but these all show that, you know, he's committed to us and we're committed to him and he's going to be here next season and all that. All of which means nothing if Harry just says no thanks. Just it means nothing, does it? And it will come back.
Speaking of the kit launch, did you see on Twitter, right? Some that, you know, I don't know. Do you watch the video when they launched the kit?
No, I didn't.
There's a little video. It's like Harry in the shirt, and they had Sonny in the shirt, and Richarlison, and they had the women's team involved as well. So the women's team, that Neville, I can't remember her first name.
Yeah, Ash Neville.
Three women as well showing the kit off. So Tottenham had tweeted, they said, some woman had put on there, I think it's a disgrace in this day and age that you're not involved in the women's team in the kit launch. The women are going to be wearing the kit as well. And everyone's like saying, you did watch the video, right? She's like, it's fucking the women were all over it like a rash. You know, she didn't even bother. She slagged them off and she hadn't even bothered watching it. It's ridiculous.
Calm your tits, Karen. Calm your tits.
Yeah, calm down, Karen. Calm down. Everyone's just like, you have watched the video, right? She's like, oh, and then she went very quiet.
Do you know the way they've played this season? I've been watching them this season. The way they played this season just gone. They're lucky to be in anything. I'll tell you now.
What, the ladies?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think without Bethany England, we would have been
down.
Relegated. Yeah,
we've been down. Absolutely. Yeah.
But it's also, I think that had quite a lot to do with what's her name, Zadorsky, being injured for most of it, because she's one of our best players, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but yeah.
Do you watch it on Spurs Play, Jens? Are the matches on there? Are they on Spurs Play?
I don't. I watch it if it's on the BBC occasionally. But to be honest,
on there quite a lot, isn't it?
Spurs Play, I usually watch the under-21s or the under-18s if it's on.
Are they the ones that actually won something, or the ones that got relegated? One of the teams got relegated, and they one of these.
Yeah, the under-21s got relegated. That's what I don't understand. The under-16s and the under-17s won a cup. So that's players who are in the under-18s as well. So I don't really know how the structure is. It confuses me. But both teams, I mean, that Mikey Moore, he looks something really special for a 16-year-old.
You say it's confusing, Jens, but you're forgetting Lucas Moura played for them, and he's in 30. So who knows?
The under-21s.
You're allowed an overage player. I think you're allowed 3, Jens. I think you're allowed 3 overage players.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But that was interesting because I heard one of the under-21s players said after they got relegated that Moura stood up in the dressing room and gave a speech saying, "Don't be downhearted. Keep working hard. You'll get there." And probably gave it, I came from a favela and I used to play football with a rolled up sock or a hand grenade in bare feet. And look at me now, you know, I've got no hair and I don't care.
Martin, yeah.
I just want to clip that bit just there where you said, oh, no hair. Let's clip that. We have it as part of the intro.
But other
what does he do?
Sorry.
Yeah, outgoings.
Other outgoings. Do you think we'll let Lloris go? Because he's still got one more season, isn't he, on his contract?
Get gone.
There's no way he was injured in that game.
Yeah.
Was there when he came off at half time? He was shot away mentally, wasn't he? He's gone. There's no way he can come back from that. Really, needs a fresh start away from the club.
Yeah, there's also talk that he had a massive row with a number of players, and that's why they took him off.
Believe that from a documentary, can't we? So
yeah. But it was interesting as well. I'm not sure where the quote came from. I don't know if it's just again Twitter talk that Daniel Levy said. Yeah, you can't say that we haven't backed managers. It's just there's been they haven't signed the right players. We need to look at, we want Ange to play attacking football and look at utilising the academy. The only player that I can see probably just about making the bench is Alfie Devine.
But he has done a couple of times, hasn't he? So,
yes, yeah. But I mean, if he wants to utilise the academy for next season, are we getting relegated? it's not good enough.
I think it'll be a combination of both. I think he'll use the academy to create competition amongst the senior players, whether that's brought in senior players or the ones that are already there. I think it's good to have that balance of both, isn't it? It's like, you know, it's like the 81 Cup final. Looking back on that, when on the first two-legged thing, and they brought Ricky Villa got subbed off in the 68th minute in the first leg, and he came back in the second leg. It's like, right, I'll show you why you shouldn't be subbing me. And it's the same with Son, you know, as well. He's done a similar thing, and it's like that's what we need. We can need that kind of atmosphere, you know, friendly but fierce kind of competition. And it's not been there, as we know, since probably the Champions League finals onwards. It's been like, I can really give a shit, to be honest, amongst the players, with the exception
too much deadwood, haven't we?
Yeah, and
we've got 37 players in our squad, apparently 37 first team players.
As a club, that's what we're really bad at is noticing when players are deadwood and when they're done for, and they're, you know, I understand some players can go out of form and come back into form, but like Son, but you got to realise when the likes of Lloris and Dyer and, you know, Session are just, they're not going to play for us again. Get rid. Yeah,
I don't think it's not noticing, Simon. I think it's cheaper to keep them, isn't it, than buy a replacement? So it's deliberate.
That's what I wanted to say. Yeah,
no, is it?
Yeah. No, it's because Levy doesn't. If he doesn't get an offer that he likes, then he ain't going to sell him. Whereas, why don't you just say, okay, cut your losses? We'll. I mean, with Undon Bailey, that's going to be very difficult. But with some other players, if it's just 2 million or something, okay, we'll write it off. It's not a problem. I'll sell some more go-karting season tickets. We'll get the money back.
Yeah, but don't forget the thing with Ndombele is it wasn't an ability thing that was pushed out. It's an attitude thing, and I think with Angelos back, what we've got as a manager now, that could change. That's now where it wasn't before, and now it is a possibility that could change.
But the problem is with that is that his coaches from a very, maybe not a very young age, but from when he was sort of 17, 18, have said this guy has all of the talent in the world, but just can't be bothered. And no coach has said anything different since then. I don't think you can help the guy. I really don't.
Well, it will be make or break, won't it? And he's not been in that position before. We've just kind of shoved him or swept him under the carpet up to now. But bringing him back in will, I mean, this is obviously not definite that he's back in, but bringing him back in will be like, we're going to expose you for all the world to see, and it's down to you to show up or piss off, basically.
And he'll say, look at my wages, I don't give a...
Yeah, then Levy's going to be forced into a decision, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alex Ferguson used to say, if you have to if you're trying to change a player's mentality or attitude or tactically, if you have to tell them more than 3 times and they don't take it on board, they're never going to take it on board. And he said he'd make a decision on them after that if they don't take it on board after 2 or 3 times, then they're not going to change. So you have to make a decision to get rid of them, pretty much.
Same with anything,
at the top level
in life, isn't it? Like, you know, 3 chances is about what you should, as a human being, should be making it. it's accountability at the end of the day. We're not holding players accountable by
Yes.
sending players like Ndombele out on loan and hiding them around the way, like sweeping under the carpet. No one's being held accountable, and it's just.
If
ridiculous.
manager after manager is telling you that you need to do more for the team, you need to work harder, you need to be tactically more aware, and when we lose the ball, you've got to do this, and he's ignoring them. That's one manager after another, and surely at one stage you're thinking, yeah, maybe I'm wrong and they're all right, but he still obviously thinks, oh, I'm playing the beautiful game, everyone else is wrong, kind of thing. But there's no room for passengers at the top level, is there? Unfortunately,
No. You should go and play futsal. I think he'd be
finishing
brilliant.
Messi, even Messi for Argentina, they kind of don't make him track back and work hard. And Ronaldo towards the end, they didn't make him do that. And Harry, to some degree, he doesn't press from the front anymore, does he? So he makes certain allowances, but
yeah. So anything else on transfer
and
news?
Lo Celso as well to come back, of course.
Yeah,
yeah.
What do we think of that? I actually quite liked what I saw of him at certain points, and then other points he just
He kind of did a Kulu, didn't he? And kind of faded away, really.
Yeah. But he'll be interesting to see if they'll play him as an attacking central midfielder.
Squad player, I think.
You reckon? Yeah. Expensive squad player.
Is it?
Yeah. What was he? 40 million, something like that.
I can't remember now. Yeah, I think so.
We never really played the formation that he could play in there, did we? Because he's not a wide player like a Son or a Kulusevski. He can't play out there because he didn't have that yard of pace. And at the time, we were playing Mourinho and Conte, playing the two, defensive-minded, runners. So he's not that, is he? He's not going to get tackled. He's not going to tackle and get stuck in. He's not a wing back, so he wasn't going to play, was he, for us? But maybe in a three-man midfield, he could play. But apparently, he's decided that his future's elsewhere. I'm sure that went down well with Mr. Levy, but he's decided that he doesn't want to stay. But it's not up to him, is it?
No, absolutely.
But it'd be better for all parties if we move. Better for all parties if we move him on. That Matt Law said it the other day on Chris Cowlands. He said that he sees his future away from Tottenham, whereas Ndombele wants a fresh start. Apparently.
Wow, that's surprising.
He wants to come back and have a fresh start. Yeah.
Yeah. Does that mean he's going to bring?
Surprise, to be honest, as well.
Yeah. Does that mean he's going to bring Sissoko
that's probably his agent. It's probably his agent saying that Napoli don't want you, mate. So you haven't got much choice. You're going to have to go back and try and build your career up in England again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably missing the McDonald's down the high road, isn't he? So.
You can't imagine the Italians like their food, don't they? So I don't imagine they've got as many McDonald's and fast food joints out there. I could be wrong. Again, where's Iggy when you need him?
I've been to Italy a few times. I don't remember seeing fast food restaurants. But
I bet he was living.
I'm sure they have them because there'll be expats who want to eat that kind of crap. Okay. So last but not least, because I've just been informed that the missus is going to be home in about 10 minutes. Season tickets. So this was an interesting one. I decided not to renew mine. And the cutoff date was the 1st of June. I went on there, I think, on the 8th to see if I could get my money back from the tickets that I sold on Ticket Exchange. And I still had the option to renew. So 40,000 on the waiting list. My fucking ass. He is such a liar. Did you renew yours, John? I think John's gone.
You're frozen, John. Although that is like they say they always say that when the screen freezes, that's your orgasm face.
I was going to say he looks very meaningful there.
Yeah, it's not a bad orgasm face, to be fair.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
No, I didn't. I'm not renewing. I decided not until Levy's gone. I'm gone. I'm not. I've had, you got to vote with your feet sometimes, haven't you? So
Yes.
I've still got it, as in, you know, Gazza and Needham and that lot going, so I can still get tickets as and when I want them. But I'll be paying Needham and Gazza. I won't be paying Daniel Levy. So
yeah, fair enough.
I can justify it that way. But I didn't renew it.
Yeah.
But I mentioned to Gazza what you said about about the money in your account and whatnot, and he said obviously Levy's extended the deadline, but not told everyone. He's like silently extended the deadline, hasn't he? So that his guys in the background can ring people around and say, "Oh, we've just appointed Big Ange. Why aren't you renewing? Can we do anything?"
Well, that's
like they did to me last year, didn't I? I told them last year I wasn't renewing, and then they kept badgering me and ringing me and stuff and saying, "Do you want to reconsider?" Didn't you? But that was after they'd spent loads of money on Basuma and brought loads of people in, didn't they? But
Jens, here's a dilemma for you.
Maybe.
What if Daniel just rings up Gary Mabbott and says, "You're best mate with Jens, aren't you? Can you give him a phone call and ask him to renew?" Would you? Gary Mabbott asks you to renew your season. I do it.
The funny thing is they wouldn't be able to call me because it's my old English mobile number on my season ticket, and that's unfortunately that went dead a couple of years ago. But yeah, if Gary called me, I'd say Gary, I think you're a legend.
Details.
Oh, he has. Yeah, he's got my Dutch number. But yeah, if he called me, I'd say Gary, you're a legend. But what we spoke about last time, how confident and happy you were with the club, it hasn't happened. And I how many games a season did I go to anyway? It was 1, 2 if I was lucky. The flights, hotel, the whole day out is too expensive now. I can't afford that. So yeah, no, I don't think I would.
I'm pretty sure though, if you say no to Gary Mabbott, that's like actual blasphemy, and you'd go to prison.
Sacrilege! Stone him!
I think it is. You know, like he's royalty, absolute royalty. Off with his head.
Okay, the chaps, going to wrap it up now. Thank you very much for joining.
Can we just do a quick thumbs up or thumbs down for the new kit?
Yeah, I think it looks okay.
I'm thumbs down. Just
really
disappointed. I mean, it's just the same. There's no effort in it, is there?
Oh yeah. Talking of kits though, Denmark are playing against Northern Ireland in the European Championship qualifiers. Or is it the World Cup? No, it's the European Championship qualifiers on next Saturday, and we're reusing the away kit from the 1986 World Cup. I don't know if you remember that, John. It was the Hummel kit that Southampton used as well.
Yeah, the two.
Yeah. So I thought, oh mate, I've got to get one of these. 80 fucking euros. So I thought, I'm going to try and get it anyway. No, sorry, we don't deliver to the Netherlands. You're a foreigner. Fuck off.
What about DHgate? Do they do it?
Yeah, I might have a look at that. But yeah, anyway. Anyone want to plug anything before we go?
No, I'm all right.
No? Okay. Well, I shall bid you all a lovely Sunday and leave you out and time your kangaroo down, sport.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
I'll get my didgeridoo out. Get me didgeridoo out on camera.
There is the didgeridoo.
Better than a boo-boo sailor, I'll tell you that one.
That's good. There is the didgeridoo. I like that.
Okay. See you later. Leave you out.
See you. Bye. Bye.